Hey everybody, my name is Robinson Brown. That over there is the incredibly smart co-host,
That's me, Stanley.
Dr. Stanley to you. And welcome to Nerd Hell, the place where we talk about our opinions that
Right.
ultimately nobody will care about.
Not a
Now,
single person.
yes, of course. And for our first episode, we want to do a little bit of a Q&A, let you guys get to know us, let me get to know myself. But real quick, Stanley, you told me a story today about one of the Power Rangers who like opened a studio next to you. What was it?
Yeah, it was called the Rising Sun Karate School, and there was one of the Power Rangers, was it Jason David Frank, who was the Green Power Ranger, opened up like a karate school near where we used to live, and there would be advertisements for this place, the Rising Sun Karate School. It just had like this kind of what is it, like Karate Kid vibe, like, but it was taught instead of by like a sweet old Asian man, it was taught by like this mean Hollywood elite. So it's like what is it, it's like instead of getting taught by Mr. Miyagi, it's like getting taught by Johnny Cage, from like Mortal Kombat. So
Yo, I like to imagine that shows up in full costume and gets upset at you when you don't bring a costume.
well, he's kind of like the person that like makes them dress up like the or like the gray Goombas or whatever that they have in this show, and then he just like is like, okay, now I want the 6-year-olds to line up so I can perfectly kick all of you in the face at once. So,
Because in life, you will get kicked, but you need to get up. In this dojo, I teach you how to get kicked, not how to get up.
yep, yep. And you know what they say, when your Hollywood career is all about a TV show from the '90s, you know what
Or
you do
you,
with that? You make money off of it, and then you run a karate school.
I, I just love that this man is famous for a role where nobody cared about him; they just cared about the costume. Because I loved the Power Rangers as a kid.
Dude,
Like,
the Green Power Ranger was dope. He was
it
so good.
was
Yeah, like he
Wh-
was
when I was
awesome.
when I was young. Oh, for context, I am not a spring chicken anymore. I'm a fall chicken. Born in 1999. How old are you, Stanley?
Oh shit, I'm 31, dude. Like I was, I was born in 1990, right? So I was like, I'm an actual 90s kid. Like I actually remember living in the 90s. Like I
Hey, I'm a
remember
90s.
cassette tapes like being new, like in rap, like shrink wrap kind of new fucking thing. So,
I'm a 90s kid too. I was born in October 1990. 3 whole months, my man.
oh, is
But
that
when I
so? Yeah.
when I was a kid, what was on TV? It was Dino Thunder. Now that was probably the best one. And they also had like they had Super Troopers, but in space.
Oh man, I remember Turbocharged. Like my grandpa had the Turbocharged movie, so whenever I came over to watch, or like would be a part of like in that kind of like his house, he would have like bologna sandwiches with just the bread, bologna, and mayo and piece of cheese, and then he would give me like the movie, and we would just watch the movie. So, uh, like no joke, man. Like the original Power Rangers were the show that I watched. It was weekdays. I don't remember which channel it was on, but I would come home from like swim practice, and then I would flip it on, and then there would be like the original Power Rangers. But I remember the Turbocharge movie was one of my absolute favorite movies because it was just basically the original Power Ranger cast, just put into like new suits and everything. Because that was like basically how Power Rangers stayed relevant to each generation, is that they would just like rebrand themselves every couple of years. And then now you got like the edgy dark remake of the Power Rangers.
Oh, you
So
talking about the movie?
yeah, I'm talking about the awful,
That
awful
was
movie.
awful. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Like, when I was too old for the Power Rangers, it was Power Rangers Samurai on Nickelodeon. That's when I was like maybe 13, 14. And I'm like, I'm too cool for Power Rangers.
Oh
I
my
was like
god.
I was like 17 when that movie came out, and it was it was horrible.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Like, I don't. You see, this is kind of like the hard thing to think about, is that like, you said that you're not a spring chicken anymore, like you're like a fall chicken. I was like, what does that make me then? Am I like the next year chicken? Is that the whatever? But yeah. So moving on to kind of like the thing was that the Green Power Ranger essentially started a school for karate in Houston, and was advertising to like the rich white kids of the suburbs, and was like trying to teach them to come take his class so that he could like make some money off of like rich engineering and doctor kids and that kind of thing. And I always remember like everyone wanting to go and like go see it, but it was insane how expensive his classes were. I remember just like going in and then looking at the price and then like my parents going, "Yeah, we're not doing this."
Come pay to watch your children get beat up by a 40-year-old man in a green jumpsuit.
You know, there are otter fetishes, man. So, oh my god. So, why don't we start doing this Q&A thing?
Of course. Here, let me go first. Now, I just want to talk a bit about your background and also one of the most difficult things to do in life. You're getting a PhD right now, right?
Yeah, so right now I'm actually presenting my master's thesis in like on July 20th. So that's like in 16 days, but then I'm going to be starting. I have to take a break because I have to pay back some people. Like the deal was that if I do this and get my American history like master's, then I pay back the school district and then I move into my PhD program. And so that's basically giving me like a gap year that I just can take a break and not have to worry about anything. So, I am going to be getting my PhD like in the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So, not quite a doctor yet, but hey, masters. I'm a master.
The slow cooker of the academic world.
The slow cooker of the academic world. Okay. I don't know. That content just falls off the bone. You see it right there? Yeah.
I know I ain't getting a PhD anytime soon. About my background is that I'm going to school right now to become a computer scientist, basically a programmer. Like, originally I wanted to go in and get a video game degree. But then I remember my first job. Now, this is a Texas place, so some of our viewers might not know. But there was this place called Golden Chick. And
oh, my God.
for me, it has the best tenders and the best... They got this spicy mayo sauce. That's the best thing on earth. The best gravy, the best fries I've ever had. I started working there, and ever since then, I can't go back. Because every time I go back to Golden Chick, all I remember is like dumping out trash at 2 a.m. And the next morning I had to get up at 7 to make sure I can get to high school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, I'm not going to get a gaming degree. I'm just going to get a regular programming degree. But they do offer an emphasis in gaming, so that's what I'm doing right now. So I can get some classes I'll actually like, but I'll still get the skills to do whatever programming job there is.
Yeah. I mean, like, you could also... I know that there are, like, job positions open for Activision Blizzard in Austin around here. Who knows? Maybe they need something like that.
It's so funny that I left Texas to come do college in Utah just to probably go back to Texas when I'm done.
Dude, you never know where you're going to end up. I always thought that, like... My parents legitimately thought that they were going to send me off to Ireland, like to the old country, and then I was going to go date like a redheaded girl or like whatever and that kind of thing. Because my mom was like really into that whole thing of like me giving her grandkids, which is not fucking happening, but still, like she wanted me to go like on, you know how like in Israel, like there are Jewish people that go on like the return home, like the
pilgrimage?
Yeah, the pilgrimage where like the rich Jews will pay for their like the younger Jews to go to Israel to meet up with people, and then they'll like put them together with other Jewish people, and then they'll like hopefully they'll like start dating and get married and that kind of thing. My parents were kind of hoping for that, but like the Irish version of it and not like the Jewish version. So, I don't know. My parents were hoping that was going to happen, but then somehow I ended up in small town Texas. So, And
there's no place that I would rather be. But we've talked about this. We talk about how much we miss Texas, but the moment we're back, it's always, this place sucks. Why do I want to come back so badly?
I know. Well, especially like after February, man. Like when that winter storm happened, like Winter Storm Uri, I was there and I was like, I hate this. I don't know how we were so unprepared for this, and then like nothing's happened, nothing's been fixed, And it's just like, that's Texas. The free market will decide who lives.
Y'all just moved on from that. But I felt terrible because I'm in Utah. It gets cold here in the winter. And that entire time that was happening, because you see the videos, because they didn't have heat, but they still had like internet and some places electricity. And there was the videos of like old people complaining about how cold it is.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, if only they owned a scarf or a jacket instead of a poncho. This would have been an inconvenience. It wouldn't have been like an actual historic Texas death event.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, people did die though. That's the thing though, is that it's one of those of. And then I remember them blaming wind and solar energy when the only two things that were being produced at all were from wind and solar energy after like the storm was over. So and then like the frozen lines for coal were the only thing that was actually shut down. So it was one of those things that were just like, okay, sure, whatever. Nothing really matters anymore. That's the kind of thing. And I mean, that's why we're doing this podcast, because no one really cares what we have to say anyways. So.
And that's why it's a nerd's hell. But,
oh my God.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wind and solar is the only reason Texas isn't the world's largest ice skating rink right now.
Oh my God,
which
100%.
That would be an amazing TV show, The Amazing Race, but it's just ice skating from North Texas to South Texas.
Oh my God, I would not watch that show. I would not watch that show.
Oh, I would love it. Just like these people in backpacks slipping down hills.
Oh my God. Okay. So do you want me to ask a question? Like continue
go
on?
ahead.
Cool. So my first question was, what was the earliest memory of something that you became a fan of?
You know what? It definitely had to be Mario.
It had to be Mario. Well, I mean,
yeah.
he is a master, right?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when I was a kid growing up, so I'm a Mexican immigrant. So coming to the United States, family was pretty poor. Didn't really have much money to spend on luxuries. So anytime we did come into some money, I'd never get anything new. I'd always get it secondhand at garage sales. And because of that, I grew up with a bunch of old consoles, which is why like my earliest memories is of the Nintendo 64, even though it came out before I came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because my mom was that type of person who didn't want to get me a PlayStation because of God of War, you know?
Oh, well, it's
because
because she read the reviews that like there was the Aphrodite minigame where you like like have intercourse with Aphrodite, and then she moans, and it's like if you miss, it's like a, you know, have you ever played like the really crappy game Battle in Wonderland? Like,
no.
Because video game Donkey did something like that where he played the game where it's like, you know, you have to wait, and then when he hits his pose, you press the X button. But if you miss the X button, you get like completely wrecked. But
yeah,
like
it's a quick time event.
Yeah, in God of War, like the quick time event for that is just like if you miss, then you just hear Aphrodite instead of moaning, just like go, oh, like, like just super disappointed. Oh.
If you get a low enough score, you get that hidden voice clip of Kratos going, "I'm just tired."
I'm just tired, I swear. This never happened before. Well, I can remember the earliest thing that I was ever actually like a fan of was probably 100% Star Wars, right? So my grandpa got me into Star Wars, and he's the one to blame essentially because I had all the VHS tapes because there was the special edition VHS of the first 3 movies, right? So episodes 4 through 6 were all in these like special sleeve covers, and like Return of the Jedi had, you know, Yoda on the sleeve or like that kind of thing. And my parents had this rule where I could not watch TV for more than an hour a day, and or I could choose to watch a movie, right? Because most movies, especially for kids movies, are like 90 minutes. And so for me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch Star Wars because it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours, right? And so I thought I was gaining the system by just putting in Star Wars instead of doing it. But then it was like I didn't have this idea because I was a stupid kid, right? Is that it's the same movie just being repeated 3 times over and over and over again, and that kind of thing. And so Star Wars was my earliest kind of fandom thing, and I remember those tapes because back when you had VHS, the more you watched the tape, the less that it stayed on, and so it just kind of just broke after a while. It was gone. There's nothing. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like Star Wars always has like a soft spot in my heart, and it's like one of the most contentious fandoms ever out there. Because you mention anything about anything new in Star Wars, are just like all of a sudden it's like half the people want to just be like, I don't like this, and the other people are like, I like it. You're being too harsh on it, and I don't know. I don't feel like we should have our no fans out there attack us for Star Wars. So
Yeah. Yeah, you're telling me I can't go shirtless at the beach anymore. People will see the Jar Jar Binks tattoo I have across my back and actively try to hunt me down.
okay. I mean, honestly, I would hunt you down too for making that poor decision.
Which actually leads me into my first question for you.
Oh, okay.
Because when you're a kid, everything's great. For example, I remember liking the Shrek GameCube game when I was a kid. And I came back to it when I was an adult, and I'm like, oh, this is god awful. So,
okay.
when you're a kid, everything's awesome. So, I remember the first time I was watching a movie at the movie theaters, and it was I forget what it was. I think it was this really crappy like indie kids movie called Monster Trucks, where it's about like this alien creature that lives inside of a car, right? And he like moves the wheels and everything, and like a 14-year-old finds him like, whoa, a real alien. But the government's after the alien, so we gotta help this car creature get home. And I remember being like, I don't know, middle school age, watching that movie in the movie theater and thinking, wow, that was bad.
That
I
was
thought
bad.
all movies were supposed to be good.
I thought they were. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. So your question is like, so basically, did I ever like love something when I was a kid and then kind of come back to it when I was older and be like, oh my God, this fucking sucks. I hate
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
God. You know, I actually remember if we're talking about like video games, I remember there was this one video game that I really did love way back in the day, right? So I when I was a kid, right, I got the original Xbox. And when I got the original Xbox, I got the first Halo. And I remember playing it and being like, the graphics will never be better. It's always it's always gonna be like this. It's so amazing. It's lifelike and that kind of thing. And I look at it, I'm just like, there are boxes hitting each other. Or I remember something that frightened me as a kid, and this will probably be something that we put on the YouTube channel, like when we do that kind of stuff. My special reports, horror and video games. I remember we had this French exchange student. His name was Julian, and Julian was the person who he was an awesome guy, but he would frequently bring his other French exchange student friends from the high school back, and I was like 8 or 9 at the time, and he popped in Resident Evil 2. And when he started playing Resident Evil 2, he would usually let me like watch them play video games as they were doing this because it was my game system, but he was still taking it from me. And so I remember I had to leave the room because I got so scared about like the Resident Evil 2 beginning when it's like, they crash and there's all the zombies eating everyone in Raccoon City. I remember being a kid and being like, I'm out. Bye. I'll see you later. And just kind of like dipped out. And then I replayed it. I looked at the original again, and I was just like, why was I scared of this? Again, this is boxes hitting each other. Or polygons.
It's like that one episode of SpongeBob where Squidward is trying to forget about the box, and he watches boxing on TV where it's literally 2 boxes bumping into each other.
Dude, SpongeBob is so good. But
that's one of the only things season 1 through like 7, I can come back to that and be like, oh, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of scary game for kids, you'll laugh at me. Luigi's Mansion. Oh,
Dude, don't
that
talk
game.
shit about Luigi's Mansion. I love Luigi's Mansion. I will die
I
on this hill. He will
no,
suck my vacuum ghost up when I die from this hill.
Here's the
So,
thing. I love Luigi's Mansion 2. I got Luigi's Mansion 3 on day one and like played the entire thing in like 2 sittings.
okay.
But Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube scared the living hell out of me so much. My mom got me a bookcase, right?
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of stuff in it. I had like a section with all my GameCube games stacked. I was so scared of Luigi's Mansion as a kid that I hid it in my closet underneath my dirty laundry.
That's so
so,
funny, but then
so,
at the same
so
time, have you actually like gone back to play Luigi's Mansion?
it's a
Like
really good game. It's
it
not
is,
scary at
but I
all.
mean, like it's not that like that's the point. But like if you're a kid and you're playing Luigi's Mansion, you're there, and like Luigi's Mansion, the original one, has this atmosphere of just like dread that the other games don't, right? Because we've played the third one and the second one. The second one's just like whatever, is a cash grab, but the third one is like whimsical, right? There's not really scary kind of atmosphere. It's just very much like a whimsy and like adventure, right? But
Yeah,
yeah.
it has so much charm. I think one of my favorite things is the fact that it only has like one main theme that bum 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 bum, and Luigi will hum it if you're not doing anything. If you leave the control for long enough, Luigi will go nee ha 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 nee ha ha ha.
I'm not gonna lie though, like it's one of those of I I honestly wanted as a kid, I would murder another child to get that Game Boy that could communicate. Remember the video calling like back in the day? I was like, whoa, video calling on a Game Boy Color. Where do I sign up? Where do I go commit this homicide to get this stuff, right? So because like that was, remember, like in the third one he has the virtual boy, that's how he communicates with like Dr. Egad, but like
Yeah,
in
no,
his
no. The virtual boo.
the virtual boo, that's right, because even though it's Nintendo, they don't want to copyright their own stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Yo, I don't think Next Level Games had the right to Luigi.
Oh my god, dude, like it's just
Nintendo
one
was.
of Luigi's Mansion, like what is it, I love Polterpup too, because that was the best thing that they did, was add Polterpup in the
Oh.
second game, because he was the only good thing about the second game. And so it's even funny because, like, you know that, like, my dog Johnny Cash, right, like we call him our Polterpup because he has have like the same attitude as the Polterpup, and he kind of has the same body shape as the Polterpup too.
That
So
big old head.
yeah, he's like a corgi, right? So obviously he's a little spooky boy, but still, yeah, no, dude, don't talk shit about Luigi's Mansion. I'll ruin you on that one. I have
I wouldn't.
very
I
strong
wouldn't dream of
opinions.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, like, we got that, but like, at what age did you actually think that you realize that you were a nerd? And don't
Oh,
say
I,
the moment that you joined Anime Club, because there was obviously one before that.
oh, honestly, one of the worst mistakes I ever made in my life. But I knew I was a nerd since day one because, like, well, not since day one, but the day I learned to have my own thoughts and my own opinions. Because when you're young, like elementary school age, you don't have your own opinions. You know what I mean? You just say what your teacher says or what your classmates say, but your classmates say what your parents said, right?
Yeah.
So I was born in a very easy time. Like I was born when bullying was on its way out the door. Like we didn't have Stephen King level bullies anymore.
No, you
We had
didn't?
like yeah,
Okay.
I had like one kid who was my nemesis. I remember him so well with his stupid blonde hair and blue eyes.
Oh, damn. Man,
I
you're
hated
just
him
sitting
because
here
he was
like,
gorgeous.
he's like, he's gorgeous, and I am just, I don't know what, he's like the Aryan equivalent to whatever perfection is, right? So,
Of course.
oh, damn. Okay.
So actual perfection. But
Mm-mm.
anyways, I remember being in middle school and like talking about video games to a friend, and I was always girl crazy when I was young. Like I had a crush on any woman who would look my way. Well, not woman, any girl my age that would look my way. And I remember trying to talk to them about video games, and they're like, "No, that's lame."
Oh, you
and my
remember that being
heart
like, no, that's lame.
snapped.
Mm. Oh, damn. I'm sorry.
I've-
That sucks. So that was your nerd moment, was when you realized that you liked nerdy
I, when
things.
Yeah, when I realized I liked stuff that not everybody liked, because there was always things that everybody liked as a kid, you
Mm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
but like middle school is when you start defining the things you like by
Mm.
on your own, like not the things your parents like, not the things other people like, the things that you like. Like
Mm.
you're not forming an identity. I don't want to say it's that strong because I was like 11 and 12, but I knew the things I liked and the things I didn't like. So I think that was the day I realized, oh, holy crap, I'm a nerd.
Oh no.
Oh
Oh
no.
no. What
What will my
happened?
parents say?
Well, they'll disown me. I don't know.
My
I'll end up on a podcast 20 years later with no one. Yeah. Okay.
a podcast that nobody listens to, which
That's
is
what
why it's Nerds Hell.
Oh my god. This is great, but still. So you had the rejection of like girls, right? Because you were trying to hit up on the girls like when you were younger, and like
Always.
yeah,
It
and
was
you're like, hey,
embarrassing.
you like the video games. Man, you should have just waited till Anime Club. You know that, like, that what is it? They're, like all the nerdy girls there. That would have been
So-
like, yeah. But
So
still,
for our viewers, me and Stanley met through Anime Club because I joined up because one of my best friends was an officer in Anime Club, so I joined up just to hang out with like-minded people,
mm,
and that's where me and Stanley met. And
Yeah.
after I graduated high school, we just kept in touch.
yeah. I never actually had you as a student. I
You
don't
never
know.
had me as a student, which is hilarious because you've
Yeah.
had my sister, and my sister thought you were the best teacher ever.
That's so funny because it's one of those things of like I have such a low opinion of myself that I don't think of like me being actually good at that. So it's good to hear. We'll have to talk after the show about like what's going on with Mia. All right. Well, so you want to know about like the time? So you got rejected by girls, right? The moment that I
till this day.
realized it's actually kind of same a little bit. The moment that I realized that I was like a nerd for things is that one of the earliest movies that I remember ever watching was like Studio Ghibli movies. Back like in the early 2000s, the Academy Awards actually gave like what is it? Studio Ghibli an Academy Award for, God, what was that one?
I'm gonna assume best animated.
Yeah, it was like best animated. I'm trying to remember. It was like the little girl Chayo, where her parents like start eating things, so the witch turns her into a pig and that kind of stuff.
Spirited Away.
Yeah, Spirited Away. So remember, like Spirited Away
That's
came
their
up.
number one.
Yeah, like that's their number one thing, but it's one of those of like it never really had that much of an impact on me, right? So one of the things that like did though was Kiki's Delivery Service, right? Witch and delivery and magic and just whimsical, and it's like not really any conflict or there's not really any high stakes in it, except like that boy almost dies from falling off a building, which no boy should ever fall off a building. But that's the one of the things of I remember watching that movie and being so infatuated by it, and I was such a young kid at the time. And I remember I was over with my sister, and we were, because my sister was younger, she's not much older than I am, and we were playing over at our neighbor's house. We had just watched the movie, and I remember like they're like, "What do you want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's play Kiki's Delivery Service," and they made fun of me for like the rest of the time. And it was like I remember liking that movie so much that I realized that like I am a nerd for that movie, and I still watch Kiki's Delivery Service today.
It's a great
Find me
movie.
on that one.
It's a great movie.
It's such a good movie. I might watch it later tonight. Who knows? Still, yeah, because I have it like on my NAS, my network attached storage. I have like my copy of Blu-ray that I bought. Right, no copyright infringement. Not selling it to anyone, but I like to watch it like when my network attached storage. But still, I might do that after this. But yeah, so we both got rejected by girls. That's the kind of thing. Except it's in different like contexts though. So you got rejected because you were like trying to like. Day I rejected because I was like, "Hey, what do you want to play?" And I'm like, "Kiki's Delivery Service." Oh, what are you? what are you like? So we're not gonna play that. And I'm like, okay, fine.
I think that's hilarious because um, I thought I knew where this story was headed because like that's a girl's show. It's about a girl, right? Because I used
Yeah,
to be that way.
yeah.
I grew up with four younger sisters, so there was a very deep disconnect in the stuff we enjoyed. But to this day, I still know every My Little Pony character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I was gonna assume that because you like Kikis, you'd be rejected by your fellow dudes, but no, it was actually a woman.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much that, but also it was one of those things that was just like, okay. And then, like, I was a lonely kid as like a child. Like, I really had not very many friends, and my father was when we were in Santa Fe last week. My dad and I were talking, and he was just like, "You don't remember all the times your friends just called you nasty things and all that other kind of stuff?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And then it was like glass shattered, and I was just like, "Oh, they weren't joking with me. They did not like me at all." Like that.
You know what? I had that same realization, but a different way. Because I was thinking about, yeah, all these funny things I used to do with my friends. Like I would always smack them in the head, spit in their faces, pull their hair. And my my sister was like, "Oh, those guys hated you," because me and my oldest, well, the oldest younger sister, I'm the oldest of all my siblings. We often would be in school together because we're close in age.
Mm.
So she's like my best friend in terms of all the schoolyard memories and all that. If I remember having that conversation, I'm like, yeah, me and my boys, we would pal around. I'd always like, kick them in the butt because it was funny. She goes, those guys hated you. In fact, I remember one day you didn't come to school and they were happy. They celebrated.
Oh my god. Damn. Okay. Well,
I was like, you know what? I think I deserve that one.
I think I think that was probably my fault. I'm not sure, but still, Christ. Okay. So, like
So we're
speaking
coming
of,
up on 30 minutes.
yeah,
Right now, we're going to pause the recording to hear a word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere because neither will we.
I guess we're back then. That was nice.
Yes, that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can't
Well,
believe, so grateful to our totally real sponsor for giving us totally real money.
oh
That,
man, they're the best.
yeah,
I use their products all the time.
bro, their products are fantastic, both physical and digital.
And digital.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, speaking of like, because we know that we before the break had talked about like Kiki's delivery service, right? So we talked about like the Studio Ghibli films. But my question to you is like, what is the show that actually got you to become like an anime fan? Because for me, it's one of those things of like, if we were to describe our nerdy, like letters, mine would be a was it Mav, right? It's a manga, anime, and video game nerd, right? So that's just kind of the acronym I thought up of for that. But a Mav, but still. So what's the thing that got you into anime?
Well,
What is that
put me
show?
put me in the AV club with the other nerds because I don't read. But
Okay, well I'm talking about like anime
yeah,
Robinson.
so I mean, this is probably it for every American, but also every Mexican. Dragon Ball, because they play Dragon Ball in Mexico. They still play it till today on Canal Cinco, I think, Channel 5, I believe.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was in, when my parents like decided to take me on a Mexico trip to Reynosa, we checked into the hotel and I turned on the TV and the first thing that turned on was Dragon Ball, like Extra or GT or something like that.
Exactly, yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
I just remember being like, "Oh my god, that's great."
Yeah.
I never turned on any television show and it just like show up.
What I
So
think is wild is that Dragon Ball, like, it's less. Same thing. I was gonna say, and Naruto, because Dragon Ball and Naruto have sort of Americanized themselves, and I think one of the best examples is that every time I go to the gym, there is always an anime shirt there, and it's always either Naruto or Dragon Ball, and it's usually one of those tank tops that nobody should be allowed to wear. Not because it looks bad, but it looks like it was put through a paper shredder.
Oh no,
But
that's not great.
I think
So
the first like legit anime I watched that wasn't completely Americanized was One Piece, which isn't
yeah.
exactly the best choice because as a One Piece fan, I understand that it doesn't get good until episode 300
Hmm.
because it's 10 filler episodes per story beat.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why it's
Oh.
fantastic that it was my first anime because I didn't know anything better.
So, like, it's kind of difficult for me to really remember, but I think that the first thing that like really got me into anime, like anime, was Gundam, right?
Ah,
Like,
yeah.
was Gundam Wing, like Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, that one, because it had like, Hero and all the other like secondary casts. Because you had the original Gundam from like the 1970s. That's another show that if I go back and watch, I was a kid. I had no understanding of any of the political stuff that was in that show. I was a kid and I was dumb. I was a kid. I was stupid. And so I didn't understand, like, oh, the Xeon, they're the Nazis. They're the space Nazis. And they're the bad guys, right? And so, like, it just flew over my head. But I liked Gundam because it had robots, but then it also had the human drama. So it kind of got me into that stuff. But I can understand why that you like Dragon Ball, because I was really into Dragon Ball for a while, and then I just got I got bored of it. Like it was super boring for me for a while. One of my friends up in Waco, Josh, is like loves Dragon Ball, right? And he loves Pokemon, right? I remember was a couple years ago I bought him a Switch that he could play the new Pokemon game, and he was like, "I'm playing this and watching Dragon Ball," and um, that kind of stuff. And um, but yeah, no, Gundam. I wanted to know. Gundam Wing was so great, especially the theme song. I remember the opening theme song starting up in like on afternoon television show, and I just remember being like, "What is this? I want this to be my entire life." And like Gundam now is like they have toys everywhere and kits that you can build like those models and stuff. When I was a kid, I did not understand that they were model kits that you had to build yourself, and so I just saw a Gundam toy in the thing at like an Austin shop, right? And I was like, "Mom, Dad, buy this for me now." And they're like, "Okay," and so they bought it for me, and then I realized I had to build it, and so my dad spent all this time making, or helping me make this heavy arms Gundam, because I liked heavy arms, but my favorite Gundam was the Reaper Gundam that was there, that had like the stick that had the giant Reaper blades come out, like that kind of stuff. And I was like, I love that, but heavy arms was the only one there because all the Reapers were sold out. And so I had it all the way up until I moved into my house, and I just it just disappeared, just went somewhere else. But one of the things is that, remember we talked about going back to things. I remember, and I'll have to show you this clip after the show, but there was this clip from the original Gundam Wing show, and it's the dub, right? Because I was a stupid kid and I didn't want to read either. So um, it was this point where Hero, the main character, like jumps out, and then you see the little princess girl who's like, "Oh, do you need help? Do you need special attention?" He's like, "If you follow me, I'm going to murder you." And then she just like goes and like pauses for 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden, like 5 seconds later, she goes, "He's kind of attractive." And I just remember being it was like, "Excuse me, what is this? What is this show? Goodbye. I love it so much." It's just, it's corny where it needs to be. It's got the action where it needs to be. Gundam is great. Like, I had a goal in life that I wanted to be an engineer when I was later in life, so I could make the world's first Gundam. Yeah, and there was like this conversation that my dad had it between like him and I, where I was just like, "I'm gonna invent a Gundam." And it's like, nothing can really beat a Gundam. And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, what about a bomb?" And right, so
Let me introduce you
I
to
was
my
like,
friend, Mr. Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, not even like the atomic bomb, just like a bomb, right? So I was just like, "Oh." And remember, I was a dummy, right, when I was a kid. So I was just like, "Oh, okay, fine. And so, yeah, that was kind of like the first anime that it really, really got me into anime was Gundam Wing. Like when I was a kid, I begged my mom to buy me the movie. Like the movie was all called Endless Waltz, and I watched that movie until the DVD broke. I watched it until like I went off to college, and then it got scratched
Oh,
because of
that's
my
a
roommate.
shame. Oh no.
Yeah, I know. I know it's okay. It's okay. It's not anything really that big, but still, I've grieved. I moved on. So, yeah, that's the anime stuff, and damn,
So
that was a long time ago.
it is, and when I was a kid, I never expected to be into anime because my sisters they loved Candy Candy and Sailor Moon, and I was always like, anime's dumb while watching Naruto. So I never expected to be such a big anime
Anime's dumb
fan.
while you watch Naruto.
Hey,
Okay.
they're speaking English. It can't be Japanese. But
Okay.
that actually
Yeah.
brings me into my next question. I didn't ever think
All
I'd
right.
be this big of an anime fan, but now I am. And my next question is, tell me about like something unexpected that you're a huge fan of that you didn't think you would be. For example, for me, so my preference of video games is always going to be action. Like
Yeah.
my favorite games are like Super Smash Brothers, Overwatch, The Binding of Isaac, Banjo Kazooie, platformers mostly. And I think one of the first games that I played that wasn't like my style that I fell in love with was Undertale, right?
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
there's no action, there's no jump button, there's nothing like that. It's basically a visual novel if you play it that way. And I do not like RPGs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a Game Boy Advance, no, an SP. It was basically a Game Boy that could fold into itself. Um,
Mm.
the Ultra DS Lite, and
Mm.
I remember the Game Boy Advance for some reason has like the treasure trove of the best RPG games
Mm-hmm.
back then, and because my mom would always buy stuff from garage sales for like $1, I would get like 20 of these every month. And I
Mm-hmm.
never liked the RPG games because it's too much reading. I have to like wait my turn to attack. So I remember playing Undertale and being like, "Holy this is this is an RPG experience. What? I care about these characters. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to hurt
Mm.
anybody. What's going on here?"
Mm.
Yo,
All
I need
right. So
to.
so what you're saying is like you're asking like what is something that like you would not think that I would like, but I liked,
Yeah,
like as far as video games go. Okay.
yeah. Video games
Um.
for one. That's just an example I gave. Anything that you did not expect to like, but you ended up really loving.
Honestly, for me, like RPGs, I do like RPGs. Like I like Dragon Quest. I love Dragon Quest. Um, Dragon Quest was one of the original things. Like when Dragon Quest came out on Switch, like the Tales of Elusive Age Definitive Edition XYZ, whatever the hell that I wanted to add to
Yeah,
that.
basically, Dragon Quest, Elon Musk's son's name.
Yeah, right. Don't get me started on that. Shit. Now the Dragon Quest was great, but Persona knocked me out of the park. Right.
I
So Persona
I need to
5,
play that. Yeah,
dude,
everybody's
you
been
have to
telling me
play
to.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, like I know it's one of those things, but it's like because I like RPGs, right? So you know that like I'm someone who can sit there and grind, but like Persona 5 never felt like a grind to me as I was playing it. It's essentially like if manga, anime, and video games and music came together. The soundtrack is good. The visuals will burn holes in your fucking eyes because it's that great. And just the characters, you'll love the characters, right? And it was interesting like to go back and like kind of play Persona 5 or something like this where you're a high schooler but you're playing this as an adult. And I remember because I was like, you could romance the girls. I was like, oh, I don't really like the girls. I'll go for the goth doctor, right?
Yeah.
Because she's probably my age anyways. So, but still, dude, I'm telling you, like, go and just for our one person who's listening to this, or just even Robinson on the treadmill, uh, like, I'm gonna have to say, like, basically Makoto is life, right? Don't fight me on this. I will fight, and you'll understand why I like the goody two shoe girls. Plus, she has a revolver as her gun, right? Total Texas in me is just like, yes, yes, queen, slay that, whatever the hell that is on the TV screen. But still,
God, I wish you would shoot me.
like the Resident Evil 8, or Lady Dimitris or something like that.
Before we talk about that, I want to explain how it's amazing how they turned a dating simulator into a video game, right?
Oh my god!
They made
Are you talking about like Resident Evil Village?
I'm talking about Persona 5. They took a dating simulator and they're like, let's add a combat system.
Well, because that's it, right? It's the whole encompassing thing, because it's like you are a teenager, and I think the thing really resonated with me too, because even though like I'm technically a part of like the man or like the system, it's about these teenagers like trying to break free from their expectations or their stereotypes to become something bigger than they are. And I really love that. I think that that's a good concept that a lot of teams really identify with. And like, shit, dude, even adults identify with that. It's like one of those universal themes of like, we all want to fight the power. We all feel like there's injustice, but we don't have magical ghost spirits that are reflections of like our subconscious coming out and destroying other ghosty things.
I was literally about to say, this is basically Breakfast Club with JoJo characters.
It's I've heard it described as like BDSM Pokemon from like reviews. Yeah.
Jokemon.
Jokemon, you slap the Pikachu on your knee, my guy. That's it. So, but still, yeah. But those are both things that I would like, right? Because I like Dragon Quest, so I would like Persona. It's not that thing that like took me out. So something that I did not think that I would like.
Oh, also, an unpopular opinion, I don't care that much for Lady Dimitrescu. Like,
you don't like Dimitris? You don't like Lady Dimitris?
So here's the thing: every woman's beautiful, but not every woman is beautiful to me. And she's cute, but she's not someone I think I'll take home like 20 years.
You don't want to
fetishize
Big Booba.
So here's the thing: I need more than Big Booba, my man.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, thank you, Internet, for making her nickname Big Booba. For me, it was Donna, the Puppet Master girl. I like that. I'm interested in her story, her whole thing, right?
I haven't played the new Resident Evil yet, so I have no clue who that is.
Robinson, you haven't played the new Resident Evil yet?
I've been playing Binding of Isaac.
Do I need to just buy you a copy and send it to your apartment, that kind of thing? Are we gonna do? Is that what we're gonna do? Just gonna do video game reviews, where we're gonna play a video game and just be like, here's what I don't like, here's what I do like. But still, yeah, dude. Ooh, here's something you might get, right? So, actually, wait. Let me finish answering the question.
Go
ahead.
I
just got ahead of myself. So, something that I thought that I would not like that I do like. My guilty pleasure for gaming is Call of Duty. I've bought every Call of Duty since the beginning. And it's one of those of I know that you're laughing because I don't seem like the person who would like Call of Duty. But oh my god, I love it so much.
I'm laughing because you're a very smart intellectual guy. So I love the idea that your guilty gaming pleasure is brain off, guns up, right trigger, push.
Dude, I love it. I love it so much because it's one of those things of it fills this hole, this cathartic this thing, because I'm not masculine at all, right? So I'm not a masculine person. If you see me, I look like a fucking Viking, but
you do.
You know me, if you know me, you know that I'm a pacifist, and I'm someone who's I'm very much identifiable with a femininity kind of thing, right? But it's just one of those things of Call of Duty is a good action movie. And all action movies are really bad. You don't go to action movies for the plot, right? Call of Duty is not saying anything new about the system or fighting against world terrorism or anything like that. In fact, the only strong statement that they made was back when I was in college. Remember that controversial mission where you play
no Russian?
yeah, the remember no Russian.
Yeah.
That's still like a whole. That's like the only groundbreaking thing that Call of Duty has ever actually fucking done in its entire series,
That's like,
and it's still one of the best moments in gaming history for me because I remember him going, "Remember no Russian." I'm like, what? And then we're walking into the airport. I'm like, okay,
that's like
what?
that's like
And
one
then they
of the
post up and they start shooting. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what we're doing now. And yeah,
that's
it shocked me. It did.
that's like one of the only instances I can think of, because like for some reason there's been a resurgence of the video games cause violence thing, and
Yeah.
that's completely not true. But the no Russian mission is like the only thing I can think of where they're like, all right, that yeah, no, nobody is proud of that one, because
No, like it was a good mission though.
it
Like
was a
it's,
good mission.
I'm not obviously like advocating people go shoot up a Moscow airport, but still, like it's one of those things of like it broke, right? Like one of the things that I like love is breaking like expectations.
Hmm.
I like that kind of like avant-garde like position. I know, right? Not many people would put avant-garde and Call of Duty in the same kind of thing, but still,
No.
like it was good. Nerd. Still, it was good. It was great. Like it shocked me. It actually shocked me to the point where I was just like, I need to go. Like I need to stop playing this for a second and maybe like think about it. And it's just good, man. Like I don't know that because so like you said, yeah. Like I'm this intellectual, but I like the Mountain Dew Dorito basement dweller Call of Duty video games. Like
I think
the shooty. It's a game about traveling the world while you shoot minorities. That's the
knife the watermelon.
no.
One of my favorite lines of all time.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, speaking of like my cringe factor when it comes to Call of Duty, right? Which, by the way, I'm so glad Call of Duty removed like the voice chat feature where you don't have to hear your team or
Jesus,
whatever or
yes.
anyone talking.
Bro.
Oh my god, dude! Like in the Wild West days of like the original Xbox and PlayStation, it was just like the N word freely everywhere. Just like
Dude, I've heard
great.
when I was a kid, I heard it so many times I didn't even know it was a bad word, and that's why I didn't care to say it. Like I didn't say
Oh
it
my god!
because
Did
it
you
was
pull?
so freely
Did you pull
used.
like a phoenix? Did you pull like like what is his name? PewDiePie kind of thing?
No,
Where no?
kind of. Well, because it was like when I was a kid, I wanted to say the word stupid all the time, right? Because like I've never heard the word stupid, and my mom wouldn't let me say it, right? But in Call in Xbox Live, everybody says it so freely. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to say it. Everybody else is saying it. I want to say stupid. I want to say poo poo head.
Okay. Well, like still like thinking of that kind of cringy thing. So, what is the cringiest thing that you did to fit in with your nerd friends? Can you remember a time when you did something super cringy to where you're like, oh man, I have to fit in with these people, so I need to like be.
You're gonna hate me for this.
Oh my
Because
god. Okay, what is it?
there is a backstory to this that we are aware of, and I'll start with the backstory. Now, I ran I didn't run Anime Club, but I was an officer for Anime Club for I'd say 3 years, right?
Yeah,
So
roughly.
so I've met a whole bunch of cringy freshmen because that was the majority. We would have like every year we would have like 40 new freshmen. And they're just a bunch of socially awkward teens who want to fit in and think one of the ways they can fit in is by acting like their favorite anime character. And one thing
I know the type.
yeah, and one thing that involves is wearing jackets. There was this one kid who was a sweet kid, you know, little annoying, little too excitable, and he was the worst smelling thing on this planet because he wore a black jacket, gloves, and a scarf in the Texas heat every single day.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, because I know that there was someone similar, but like, what was the cringiest thing that you did to fit into your nerdy friends though? So we got the fact that
you know,
like, you the jackets and shit. Okay.
you know that school across from Uh, you know the career center back in that area. I don't want to give out the name,
Yeah,
but there's a middle
yeah,
school
yeah.
next to there. When I went to that middle school, I was that kid. I
Mm.
wore jackets because my favorite Naruto character, I forgot his name. It's the bug guy. Shino?
Oh, it's not Sasuke.
No, it's not Sasuke. I hated Sasuke. The entire arc of Naruto Shippuden was like, ugh, Naruto's freaking Rasengan is stronger than my Chidori. And then a dude with 6 arms comes along and is like, we can make you stronger. Get in the pot. And then
Mm.
Sasuke
Hmm.
just hops right in. I think
Yeah,
it was,
dude.
was it Shino?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oshino.
the bug guy,
Yeah.
because he would wear sunglasses and that jacket. I had a jacket almost exactly like him, and I would wear it in the Texas heat with sunglasses all the time. And I would talk like this because it's how he would talk.
Robinson, no,
Yeah.
no. Oh man, I'm getting like the second wave cringe from that right now.
Have you guys played the new Super Monkey Ball? It's really cool. Yo, I love Monkey Ball. Dude, they're remaking and re-releasing 1,
I
2, and
know they're coming
Deluxe,
out.
and I'm super
They're coming
excited.
out. Yeah, that sounds like a great thing, dude. That Nintendo Direct last was
Oh,
pretty nice,
it,
but
it
still.
was, it, I was expecting a 14-minute RPG section, but they didn't have one.
No, yeah, they didn't. So
But yeah, that's the
he
cringiest thing
dressed
I
up.
did. I
Yeah.
tried to be Shinu for like two straight months until I realized that
Mm,
nobody liked me.
okay. Yeah. Okay, so you ready for mine? Because it's gonna be quite bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
What was it? There was when I moved back from Germany. I, had broken up with someone there, and then I came on to the states, and I was on the state side, and I met this girl, right? And I am open to both people, right? I'm open to both genders, and so I was like, I'll date this girl, and so I'm gonna change this girl's name for the sake of the story,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
but she had, there was this girl named Linda, right? And Linda was, super like attractive, super hot, super nerdy, like really fit in band girl kind of thing and that kind of stuff. And so I remember she, in order to fit in with her group of friends, so that I could be kind of like that, because at that time I didn't really have friends because I had just moved back and I was the foreign kid, even though I was an American citizen. And that's what happens when you move away from your high school friends from ninth grade. And when I got there, she was really into wearing. She was not a furry in the sense of like she would wear the bodysuit, but she liked wearing the tails. Just the tails and the ears, and then that's it. She hated all the other stuff, so she was less of like the anthropomorphic like furry
So
stuff,
she's a
but
cat
she was
girl.
more. Yeah, she's like a hybrid,
Okay,
right, or
yeah.
whatever they call them. I don't even know what they call them. So I'm not really a part of that community.
All I
And
know
so
is
then,
that Elon Musk is trying to make girls like her a real thing.
man, like it happens, but still, I remember, um, she went to one of the Renaissance festivals and got me like a wolf's tail, right? And then asked her, or like wanted to dress up like in the cutesy kind of couple things and like get together as a couple, and then we would go walk around and like wear the same stuff, right? Like that, the kind of thing that makes you throw up in your mouth because it's the couple stuff. And so she wanted me to wear my tail while she wore her tail, and we would go to the mall. And
Wait,
so
so
we
this
did
this
that.
wasn't like a Halloween or a New Year's thing, right? This was just a regular Tuesday.
No, dude, this was like a Tuesday in June. Yeah, and so the cringiest thing I ever did to fit in with her and her friends was wear a fucking tail at the in the mall, and just try to fit in for that kind of thing. I was, God, I was desperate for friends and for like to date someone. I was so alone that I was so desperate I did that, and every time I think about that, it makes me like want to die. Right? Like it's one of those of like I choose death when I think about that memory.
The
So
funny thing is that the good doctor was not joking when he says he looks like a Viking. He has a massive red beard. He's about He's a little shorter than me, but you're like 6 foot something, right?
I'm 6'1".
Yeah, exactly. And you're huge. So
Hmm.
yeah, imagine that. Imagine
That's
that.
what happens when you like go to the gym your entire life.
Exactly.
It just, yeah.
So he is built like an actual Viking, like red-headed and everything. And I'm just
Like
imagining you. Was the tail gray?
think the dad from How to Train Your
Yeah,
Dragon.
exactly. That's actually perfect. Meanwhile, I'm built like Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove.
Dude, you know that girls like Kronk.
Yeah.
You know that you could get that kind of thing. Still, yeah.
Everything's coming together nicely.
Dude, yeah.
Was
So
the tail
it
red
was.
at least? The ears, were they red at least?
Mm, were the ears red? No, because remember it was a wolf thing,
Oh,
right?
so it was gray.
Yeah, because I was clean shaven at the time. Because my beard is red, right? But my hair is just straight black.
Really?
And so, yeah, my top hair is black, but my beard is red. And so,
Yeah, I've never seen you with hair.
Yeah, no, I stopped shaving my head, right? Because I'm trying to explore like that other side of like the gender identity thing.
Yeah.
And so, still, yeah, but it's there because my mom's red Irish and my dad's black Irish, which is the term that we use to identify people by their hair color, right, in Ireland. And so, I'm the mix child, and so my you're either one or the other. But for me, I'm basically brown or black hair and then red beard and that kind of thing.
You're just Irish Todoroki from My Hero Academia.
Uh, yeah, and but still, yeah. So it was. You know what the worst thing about it is, though?
What's that?
Is that it was like the first time one of the people have actually like bought me something. So I still have the tail in my closet.
You know,
So it's yeah. No, I still have it's hanging up. I haven't worn it ever since, right? But because it still makes me want to die when I think about wearing it. But I still have it because I didn't want to throw away because I don't want to be a dick, right?
I know exactly what you mean. One of my exes, when we were together, so my exes, they be nerds like me, and she got me she got me like this. It's about the size of a piece of notebook paper, but it's a hentai that looks like her. Because she was like, "Oh my goodness, look at this! It looks just like me," and it's straight up. So the face is very similar, but it's got boobs the size of bowling balls and all that. And I still have it because it was a gift, and I can't bring myself to throw away sincere gifts. You know what I mean?
It's like it's like a curse they gave us, but we can't get rid of it. Still, I probably should get rid of it at some point in time, but it's just like I can't, and I'm just like I don't care. It's been in the closet, like it's just sitting there. So still, yeah. So that's the kind of the cringiest time that I had. You remember that one girl, that one chick that like that was in anime club that like wore a fursuit to one of the meetings.
Oh, and refused to admit that it was a furry thing.
Yeah, she like refused to admit it, even though it was just kind of like
She had the wolf
like,
mask
it
and
was
everything.
one of those things. Yeah, the wolf mask even moved. Like she had that thing where the mechanism would open and close
She was like,
with her mouth as she was talking.
She was like, no, it's just for horror. And it's like, it's not Halloween.
Yeah, this is this is not something that you invest for one moment in your lifetime, right?
It's November.
And it was one of those things of like, it's anime club. We're all strange pieces of garbage here, right? Like we all like our garbage hobbies. Just admit it. We'll respect you more for liking it. Right? We don't care if you act like it's a bad thing. Then we're gonna like make fun of you for it. So
what was that thing?
Was it one of the other officers was a straight up furry?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay,
was
sure.
proud of
Like
it.
no one cared. No one cared. But still.
Just like My Hero
yeah.
Academia, we are trash, but we have strong bonds as trash. And just like that gray wolf you have sitting in your closet, it's now time for us to retire back into our closets until next week because we have hit our 1 hour mark.
Oh no.
So if you're actually listening to this entire thing, I just want to say thank you so much. This is our first
Hey.
episode. We don't know what we're doing. Audio quality might not be the greatest.
Not at all.
Don't even know where we're gonna put this, honestly. But
Spotify, maybe.
don't say it.
I don't know.
Don't say that until we get a brand deal. No free
Don't say
publicity.
that.
No,
We get a brand deal.
nobody gets free
Okay.
publicity. All right.
Nobody. Well, I mean, like we might as well, right? Is discovering it. I mean, where else are we gonna put this on SoundCloud?
You can find us on
I
Sound.
mean, we gotta send this into like
you can find-
Apple whatever.
You can find us on Napster. But anyways,
LimeWire. Just make sure it's the second one spelt with a Z in Nerd Hell.
well, thank you so much for listening. I have been Robinson, and I will continue to be Robinson.
Hey Robinson,
What's that?
I got something to say to you, man. Like, I really hate that you're ending this podcast, so I'm gonna tell you what. I'll see you in hell.
And you know what? I'll see you there too. And we hope we don't see you there, viewers. Please enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good 4th. This is coming out after 4th of July. I don't care. Blow up somebody's dog. Give a veteran PTSD attacks. Do all you can with those fireworks. And have a great night in hell.